What's up, humans? Welcome to a new Psicoactivo. It's a big week, and Christian Harloff did a video earlier on Down to Earth about just a smidge of the review that came out in the New York Times of Lue Elizondo's book. So, back in 2017, you guys know that the New York Times released that article, and then it was Rolf Blumenthal and Leslie Kane who wrote it, and that's what opened a can of worms about this whole topic. It all started there, and we haven't stopped ever since. Today, the New York Times released a new article, which is kind of like a review of the full Lue Elizondo book. There are a lot of things that are very interesting about it, but you can check that out on Christian channel. I am going to talk about something else related to that. I'm going to start with a tweet from That UFO podcast. Andy McCrillen, who is the host of That UFO podcast, writes, in the next 6 months or so, we could have maybe Lue Elizondo's book, that is already confirmed, James Fox's documentary. James actually told me that it would come by the end of August, that he would start doing like podcasts and stuff. So it's either going to come on the end of August or at the beginning of September, or during September. So that is also confirmed. Another documentary, which a lot of people already have information about, but they can't really say much because there's apparently a legal constraint to it. So whoever talks about it could potentially get in trouble. So I'm not touching that. All I can say is just circumventing this documentary is that Commander Fravor and Ryan Graves already talked about it. They said that it was really compelling. I'm going to show you the clip right here.
Well, Dave, it was an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
I think to your point, we are going to see a lot of changes in this area over the next few years. So perhaps we'll have you back on and we can discuss some of them.
You know, Ryan, I hope we do, and I hope I get invited back. I think, there's some stuff coming out. There's the documentary that I know you're a part of that's going to be coming out that I think is going to be game changing. There's been a lot of stuff said, but I think this is going to have the right amount of people. I'm not saying who it is or when it is, but there is something being put together that I think, hopefully it will come out and it'll be, that one thing that pushes it over that says, all right, we can't, the cat is definitely out of the bag, because I think there's going to be some interesting information that comes out in it. So it'll be good. I think it's an exciting times.
We don't support the X-File themes here at all. So, all right, Dave, thanks so much.
Twilight Zone. Yeah, thanks, dude. It's been great. Great seeing you.
There's more information. There are rumors, right? That it could be like about either one or two things. One has to do with really, really compelling evidence, and the other one has to do with potentially an explanation of humanity's real origin. I don't know what to think about any of these rumors, so I'm just going to leave them as rumors, to be honest with you. All I can say is that the documentary director who is doing this doesn't want his name out. The people involved in this documentary also don't want it to be like public yet. That only makes me think that whatever evidence or compelling anything they may have is sensitive. So that's why they're being so coy about this. And we do have to respect that. So I guess that's maybe good news. I don't know. The other part of this tweet is Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp documentary, which they announced recently on their most recent Weaponized episode. So I'm going to leave a clip right here.
Which, go into the water and out of the water, which is kind of neat, and we'll hear more about that.
Yeah, so there's going to be a development on that. The world has been waiting for USO video or a transmedium vehicle. We've heard these rumors about this giant flying triangle comes out of the water. I've never seen that video.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who has. We keep hearing about it. But there is video of what appears to be a transmedium vehicle, and I hope by the end of the year it's going to be made public.
Me too, man.
Okay. And then there is Richard Dolan's USO book, 2 potential UAP hearings, and David Grush's op-ed. The hearings, Matt Laszlo talked to me about them recently, and the op-ed, I saw Ross Coulthart in his recent, not so recent, just a few months ago, Reddit AMA. He confirmed that that op-ed is definitely coming. And right now there's an uptick on everything that's going to come like one thing after the other over the next 3 or 4 months, that I wouldn't be surprised that Grush just decided to drop his op-ed at around the same time. That's one part that I think it's very important, because the first 6 months were really a snooze fest, to be honest with you. A lot of things did happen, but the way the UAPDA got gutted at the end of the year, I think it put a lot of people down, and there was a lot of discouragement, we could call it that. But the second half is looking a lot better, to be honest with you. So let's see what happens. And more importantly, what matters, and I want you guys to be clear about this, is that whatever these guys show, it needs to be compelling. It needs to be undisputed evidence or proof, or that a confirmation is coming, or a confirmation happens. That needs to happen if these guys want any of this to be believed, and if they want it to reach the mainstream, which is the ultimate goal for everyone. Because if it reaches the mainstream and everybody follows this story, the government won't have a choice but, due to pressure from the constituents, do hearings, maybe make an announcement, whatever. So this is what that is. All of these efforts together, combined, that's what they're trying to do. Let's hope it works. I don't know if it will. But I want to talk, the other part of this video that I want to talk about is something that Christian talked about on his video. And is that Elizondo says that the best case scenario is that whatever these objects in the sky are, they can present a national security threat. Worst case scenario is that it can present an existential threat to the entire world. I want to ask you guys, because since I got in this, since 2017, when the New York Times article came out, I had no idea who Lue was, and then I started following his story. I don't know. I don't like what Dr. Greer does with his retreats that he charges thousands of dollars. But let's be honest, he did amazing work in the 90s and early 2000s with disclosure. That cannot be ignored. So before all of this like war between these two factions happened, I had a lot of respect for Dr. Greer, and I followed everything he did. And then he started talking about Lue as a disinformation agent, and that's when I was like, something's happening here. What is going on? Because Greer has always had this more esoteric idea, more optimistic idea that these NHI are benevolent. I think that's naive to think, to be honest with you. If by any chance there's more than one species, if they are proven to be real, I highly doubt that every single one of them is benevolent. It just doesn't make sense. But also, on the other hand, I don't think that talking about existential threats to humanity is going to help Lue Elizondo's case. I think this should be like an in-between. Yes, be wary of whatever may happen or the capabilities they may have. Be wary of their intentions, because intent is very important. I happen to think that if they really wanted us to go extinct, we wouldn't be here by now, if they are real. And if they are real, and that hasn't happened, that means they're not like an existential threat to us right now. I would ask instead, who's the threat really? Look around you. Look at the world. Look at what's happening in the Middle East. Look at what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. There's war all around us. There's coups attempted every few months. There's mayhem in Venezuela. There's always stuff going on in Africa. Us humans are an existential threat to the world. And this is where I really get lost with people from the intelligence community and from the military who are assured that what they do is to protect sovereignty and to protect the American way of life, or the American superiority over the rest. That mindset is completely fucked up and stupid. That is the main reason we are in this mess in the first place. Because of this superiority complex that the major powers have. Why can't they just try to coexist together and try to live with their differences, respect each other, respect your next kin, and understand that we're all together in this planet? Do you honestly think that the way we have acted over millennia, all these wars, all this killing, would attract any form of intelligence that is not human to coexist or interact with us openly? I wouldn't. I would just stay away. I don't know. It's pretty clear that if they are real, they don't want to intervene that much. Based on what experiencers have told for decades, they have the contact they've had has mainly been like these beings telling them to right their wrong or take the right path moving forward as a species. I remember the Zimbabwe landing with those kids. I remember what those kids say. They said that we are too technologed and that we shouldn't rely so much on this technology. Why would they give that message to kids? Let's go to Virginia. And I'm talking about the cases that are, to my knowledge, the most compelling of extraterrestrial contact or NHI contact with people. In Virginia, one of these beings had a direct encounter with 3 girls from Brazil. And this being also told them, you don't know the extent of your capabilities. You know what you're capable of. You know, he felt bad for humanity, for the way we are going. At least that's what James Fox alluded to when he spoke about this contact the girls had with this being. So I ask you, are they the real threat or are we? I'm just going beyond this. Are they benevolent or are they malevolent? I think they're neither. I think they are ambivalent. I think that they can see how immature we are as a species and how dangerous we are because we have a lot of guns to others. And this division, this religious and political division that right now is at its peak, it seems, and they're intertwined too. That is a major problem that if I was NHIs, I wouldn't go near any of it or us. So I want you guys to think about that. And when you read Lue's book, think about that. Think about the way in which people from the government, I'm not saying Lue, I'm saying people from the government, have this mentality. And places like the CIA or the NSA, the way they move upwards and the way they move upwards in the company is not by having an ideal to make the world a better place. It's two reasons. It's because they want to follow orders. That's what these agencies are meant to do all the time, especially the CIA, because they answer directly to the president. So they follow orders, or they have this mentality because they've been indoctrinated to have this mentality that America is the superior power, and that's what they have to fight for. It's only these two reasons that reign supreme in these agencies. They don't want the best for humanity. They never have. They only care about spying on other countries, information, and that superiority complex that I tell you about. So I tell Mr. Lue Elizondo, based on what I've seen from you talk and with a podcast, I do believe that the message you relay is positive, and that you have an intention of helping other people. But what I'm saying is, you are like a real huge minority. You and Dr. Hal Puthoff and all the people involved in this, against a monolith of people in the government that have this mentality of superiority or just following orders and staying within the culture of the agencies, that they don't really feel like they work for the American people. Let's face it, that's what it is. So what are we going to do about it? What are we all trying to do about it? And I really hope the book works. I hope it makes an impact, because if it does, all the other stuff that I mentioned are going to just build up to that ultimate goal. So I wish you the best of luck with the book. I hope that we find information there that is very compelling, and I hope that whatever comes next is linked to some, or if not a lot, of what's in that book. I'm talking about, obviously, evidence, irrefutable evidence. I hope so, man. I'm rooting for this, really, for this purpose. But please keep in mind what I'm talking about the agencies, and about this humanity also being a threat. It is very real, guys. We can't ignore it, especially as polarized as we are right now. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys. What do you think about all of this that is coming forward? What do you think about Lue's book? Did you buy it yet? Do you think it's going to have an impact? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. I think we're at 4,000 already. I haven't checked recently, but let's get to 5,000. Come on, you can help. Drop a like, and if you're going to share, please share everywhere. Do tag me if you can, please, or the channel. And if you want to help the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a link in the description, like 3 links or 4 maybe, of different ways in which you can help. Everything is really appreciated. And I'll see you guys until the next video. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or on Monday, but I'll try. Take care. Bye-bye.